Steve. And welcome to Ball Hawk Blab, the first and only baseball video podcast brought to you by Ball Hawks for Ball Hawks. That is inspired completely by Hall & Oates. My name is Cole Atkins. Oh, excuse me. No, it's David Welch. Coming to you from Minnesota. Oh no, we lost Jack. We lost our guest.
Oh, I would have to say then if we lost Jack, then we're jacking off.
We are. Sorry.
Sorry, Miss Evnery.
Woo. And coming all the way from Minnesota, where it might not be as cold as it has been, is Larry Larson. I'm Larry
Larson.
Larry Larson.
Or wait, shoot. I'm Tony Voda. All right. So let's try to reconnect Jack here since we lost him. And in the meantime, do you want to tell us a little bit about what we are going to be talking about on this broadcast?
Our main focus this week is going to be the Hall of Fame ballots. You've seen a lot of people posting their Hall of Fame ballots on Twitter. I was looking at, there's probably about 3 people that are right there on the borderline getting that 75%. So we're going to look at our own Hall of Fame ballots and who we think should be in, who should be left out, and a little bit of the debate going into that. And hopefully we can get Jack back on so we can jack on and do a little speech jammer trivia this week and maybe talk a little other happenings in the world of athletics.
Looks like we're jacking on. We're jacking on.
Good job. Welcome back, Jack.
Turn down your gain. Maybe put it at about 1 or 1.5. Sound good, Jack? We have Jack.
Yeah.
Speech jammed.
He doesn't. Oh, yes, he does.
So, Hall of Fame ballots.
What do you want me to turn the gain down to?
About 1 or 1.5.
Okay.
Cool. So, David.
Yes, Tony.
Hall of Fame ballots.
Yes.
What's the big controversy?
Well, the biggest controversy. Well, there's two that's been there's a couple that's been going on over the past couple of years, and the one that's kind of sparked on who should be in, who shouldn't be in. Oh, timeout. We have a timeout.
No, I was just saying number 1.
Oh, number 1. The first big controversy. I don't know if it's the biggest controversy, but it's the one I'll cover first. Has to do with players that kind of were on the borderline last year, like Jeff Bagwell, Tim Raines, and Trevor Hoffman, on if they are Hall of Fame worthy. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But also, probably the biggest controversy this year are the players that there's a lot of speculation about steroids, or even it's known that they did steroids, and if they should make it in as what. And then, if they don't make it in, why is Bud Selig in the Hall of Fame when all this stuff happened under his watch? And I think it's a pretty well-known fact. He knew about it. So we'll talk a little bit about that debate as well. So
and even piggybacking off of Bud Selig, we're going to have guys like Tony La Russa and other managers too that are making the Hall of Fame. So it seems really weird that a lot of these bosses or managers or higher up than players are going to be making it into the Hall of Fame, even though their careers were made and often boosted and helped, and their resumes helped for sure, by these guys that took steroids. So the performance wasn't just enhanced for them, but for their teams, for their coaches, for the league. So how do you feel about this, David? Where do you stand?
I think, in a complete vacuum, I'd say these players should not be in the Hall of Fame just because, under the rules, they cheated. But the thing is that Major League Baseball overlooked all this. They knew this was going on. I don't want to say they encouraged it, but they knew that players like Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens and Manny Ramirez, and the list goes on and on. Rafael Palmeiro, Sammy Sosa, they all knew that they were juicing. So how can Bud Selig be the savior of baseball when he knew that the way that baseball was being saved was through steroids?
And I would.
So
The other question that I
Yeah.
have is looking at where baseball was and what C-League is said to have saved. He saved them from basically the 1994 lockout.
right.
And if you look at what saved them coming out of the 94 lockout, it was the long ball. It was the home run chases. And what really caused those home run chases? A bunch of guys that were taking steroids, and they definitely knew.
So, I mean, my opinion is if Steele's going to be in, that opens the door for everybody else to be in. No, he was ahead of everything. He knew what was going on. And so that opens the door for everyone. That speculation of steroids, it opens the door for them, I feel.
Yeah. And I feel I've felt that way for a while that the steroids guys should get in, just because if you look at every era has its guys that were trying to push the game, push the boundaries, and basically find creative ways to, in essence, to cheat, or at least get a competitive advantage. Was it legal in the sense of the actual law? No. But was it legal within what was written in the rule books? We didn't have rules preventing steroids until after 2003, the Mitchell report. So, yeah, it's that gray area. I understand that it's morally wrong, but let's not hold these guys to higher standards. They're baseball players. They're not saints. At this point, let's just show the era for what it was, and that was the long ball, steroids, and a lot of ugliness that could have been prevented, but we didn't prevent it. The fans didn't prevent it. C-League didn't prevent it. Coaches didn't. Other players didn't. We let it run wild. We finally have rules against it, and I guess going forward, anyone that was found to be cheating, like Manny Ramirez, he actually has real bona fide strikes against him. He broke laws that were in place. Then don't vote for him. I really wish that baseball would take a higher approach and not leave it up to the writers. It should be something where if you cheat and you're found cheating, you're out of the game. And if you're out of the game, then guess what? No one can vote for you for the Hall of Fame because you've been banned.
Right. And I think part of it is too, going all the way back to the 70s, the players are using greenies back then to kind of help their performance. So again, it's not something that was written into the rule book because a lot of these things happen after the fact, and then you write rules for it after you realize there's a problem. So,
yep.
So let's look at our ballots. Tony, do you have a ballot that you kind of filled out, or players you think that should be in?
No, I went the Buster only approach. I will not be voting this year, mainly because I can't vote. But if I were to, I think right off the top of my head, I would definitely give it to actually a bunch of steroids guys. One, it gets them off of the list finally. And two, they hold the highest records. They are what they are. They represent the era quite well, even though it's a really, pardon my Miss Ebneri talk, or anti-Miss Ebneri talk, but they represent shit. But that is what it is. And then I would have to say, who are the new guys? I really like Vladimir Guerrero. I think I'd vote for him.
Right. I think Guerrero, Pudge Rodriguez is one of them.
Yep, I would vote for Pudge as well. Both of those guys are very solid.
Right. I mean, my biggest thing is not necessarily not. I mean, a Hall of Famer is going to be a Hall of Famer, have it be the first ballot or 10th ballot, but I almost feel that a first ballot Hall of Famer is reserved more for the cream of the crop of the league. So I'm kind of torn a little bit. It's hard for me to say that a pitcher like Mike Mussina is on the same level as a pitcher like Greg Maddux. Yes, they're both great, but there's another level. I mean,
yep.
There's almost another level between those two, even though they're both possible Hall of Famers. I think the NBA, what's his name? The writer used to be for ESPN.
Bill Simmons?
Named escape. Yes, Bill Simmons. In his book of basketball, he talked about different halls of the Hall of Fame where you have the elite of the elite have their own wing, and then you have the great players have their own wing, and you have the players that were in their time have their own wing, and I think that's almost watering down who gets in or not. But no, it makes a pretty good point. No, can you compare Babe Ruth with
even Craig Biggio? Is Biggio the same as Ruth? No.
No, but no, that's not to say that they're both not Hall of Fame worthy within the time that they played. So, it's going to be it's tough because it's really hard to compare to those players.
So, Jack, who did you vote for?
I don't know. Jeff Bagwell.
All right, you voted for a sure Hall of Famer. I think he deserves it. How about if you were to think that there is one player that is playing in the league right now that will be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Who do you think that is, Jack? You're not going to go with a Pirate? You don't think McCutcheon is first ballot Hall of Famer?
I don't know. I don't think he is.
How about Chris Bryant? Close to you?
Maybe I don't know, someone like Adrian Beltre, but I don't know if he would be first ballot or not.
How about Pujols?
Oh yeah, he's first ballot.
Trout?
Let me ask you this question, Jack. On this week's episode of Ball Hawk Talk, our sister show, brother show, there was a big debate.
Sibling, sons.
Yes. There was a big debate on the role of David Ross played for the Cubs this year. And Cole felt that David Ross was a villain, that he really didn't do anything to help the Cubs win this year. And there was a big – what are your thoughts on David Ross with the Cubs this year and if he was a big part of the Cubs winning the World Series?
I think he was because of his defense. He was just really good behind the plate, but not really in the batter's box. But he did hit that home run in Game 7.
It's true.
That's all I can think of.
Oh, and we should actually point out to people, Jack, can you tell people who you are and why you're on this episode, maybe why you're associated with us right now?
I don't know why I am. I don't know why I'm associated with you.
What do you do for us?
I run Instagram.
So you're our intern, right?
Yes, I am.
But you're unpaid, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So just
even though Ball Hawk Talk offered me a lucrative deal.
What was their offerings? What were they bringing to the table?
So this is what Larry said. Oh yeah. So you have to run the Instagram account and you have to watch every video 15 times and like every video, and I'll give you something like 10 cents a show. That's very lucrative.
That's almost an insult. That's a big insult than actually not being paid, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know who butters your bread in these parts when it comes to unpaid interns. And I will say this, you are the best intern in ball hawking podcasts. The number one video podcast and intern out there.
It must be pretty hard to get number one out of 2 podcasts.
No, there's 3. I run another one. So
there's also a Canadian.
You don't have an intern for that. And Larry doesn't have an intern for that either.
There's also a Canadian video baseball hawk All Hockey podcast as well.
Yeah. Plus, Jack, just be lucky that we rated you number 1. We could have said number 2 and then just put ourselves in number 1.
Right.
Okay, I'll accept my number 1.
Because I don't know if you know this, but we don't get paid for this either. So basically, we're interns too.
You don't get paid?
No, we're working for the man.
Nope.
Who's the man?
You're the man.
You're the. Nope.
I'm not the boss here. You're the boss. And Tony's the boss too.
Who's the boss? Tony Danza's the boss.
I thought Mona was more of the boss.
The short, fiery redhead.
Yep. Because she was calling the shots. Let's admit it. But that's way over Jack's head because he wasn't even alive in the '90s, let alone so.
I don't even think he's a twinkle.
Your audio, no, your video is like 5 seconds behind of your audio.
It just seems that way because you have one shoe on.
No.
Check your feet.
Actually, I have 0 shoes on.
Whoa. Don't get too descriptive. It's a family show.
Mrs.
Okay,
Abner.
Tony.
So, did we cover the Hall of Fame good enough?
I think we have.
Okay.
Jack, do you have anything to add to the Hall of Fame talk?
Jared's falling asleep, by the way. Shout out to Jared.
I don't
See him.
think that
Jared. Wave.
people on roids should make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there you have it. Jack Larson's take.
What if they're no longer on steroids, though, Jack?
What if they say they're sorry?
That doesn't matter. If you take steroids in any point of your career,
Okay,
I
but
just think
what
What if they have?
What about the
What if
ones
they have
that were
asthma?
voted in with that took amphetamines, or the ones that were racist and prevented people from playing back in the day? What about all those, or the alcoholics that were breaking laws, or the people that maybe murdered someone or committed other terrible crimes?
if they do that, they should just be kicked out of the league. Like, if you murder someone, you shouldn't be in the MLB.
Let's clean out the swamp, as they say, and get rid of all the people in the Hall of Fame that shouldn't be there.
Let's drain the swamp.
Oh,
Whoa, hey, no, we can't take that. That's already been taken.
this week.
It has?
Is there an earthquake going on in the greater Chicago area?
All right, do you have your Q&A ready for Jack?
I do. Jack, are you ready for some speech jammer trivia?
What did you say?
Headphones in, Jack.
Yep.
Pants on.
Are you ready for speech jammer trivia?
Sure.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to ask you 5 trivia questions. And you answer them within, what did we say, 2 minutes last time? We'll just go through them.
Wait, all 5 in 2 minutes?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So we're coming rapid fire. Some of them ask you to list some things. Some of them just ask you for the name of other things. Okay? You have the speech jammer on and running.
Yes.
All right. So question number 1. Are you ready? Who is the White Sox new manager?
Rick Renteria.
All right, good job. Number 2, name the teams that make up the AL Central.
White Sox, Royals, Tigers.
Jack, you're killing me.
Astros?
Oh,
I'm so lost.
There'd be one
AL
more.
Central, Jack.
There'd be one more team if 2 of them weren't already wrong.
Did I say Royals?
Yes, you did.
Royals?
That was not correct.
Royals and White Sox.
Oh, Royals. I think it's Orioles.
Indians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack, me.
Where does Tony
Okay.
live?
Jack, where do I live?
I don't know.
You came up here.
Minnesota, maybe?
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
The
Last
Minnesota
one. All right.
Tigers.
There you go.
Okay.
Question number 3. What is the new name of the White Sox Stadium?
Guaranteed rate field.
All right. Question number 4. Who was the last Chicago White Sox inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Frank Thomas.
Good job. And name 2 of the headliners that were part of the White Sox trade. So who are the 2 big players the White Sox got in their big trades this offseason?
The number 1 prospect. The top 5 prospect. I forgot his name.
Their names? What teams? Do you remember what teams they came from?
Red Sox.
And Nationals. I'll give you that.
All right,
Okay.
we'll give you half credit on that one.
Giolito.
All right, so Giolito and Johan Moncada would be the number 1. So I don't think the speech jammer is working very well. It didn't work as well as it did with Cole. But
Actually, I got a good question for him. Who is the greatest White Sox player of all time and also managed the club?
What?
Who is the greatest White Sox player of all time who also managed the club? He just got fired.
You're saying that
he played third
he's
base.
the greatest of all time on the White Sox.
Who
got his-
was that, Jack?
Base beaten in by Nolan Ryan.
I know. The headlock.
What's his name?
Robin Ventura. I
Yeah.
almost said that to him at White Sox Fest. I almost brought up the headlock.
I think he's in the top 3 or definitely top 5 for Grand Slams of all time. Just saying.
I do remember he clutch with the Mets.
Yes.
I think he might be the only player to have a walk-off home run, but it was actually like a walk-off single.
A Grand Slam single.
Yes, the Grand Slam single.
You know the... Are you talking about on the White Sox?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for the Mets at one point, though.
And also the Yankees and the
You
Dodgers.
know Paul Konerko, right?
I don't know him personally.
He's
Okay,
probably
thanks.
just 14th or 15th on the list.
His walk-off home run in, the World Series, I think.
And Jack is muted.
Oh, Jack, I had another question for you. Jack, unmute yourself.
I'm not muted. Don't
Okay,
mute.
thank God. Okay. Who is
Jack?
Oh no, now he's muted again.
Jack, you've been muted. Unmute yourself. You back, Jack?
I have.
Okay. Who is the greatest catcher in Chicago White Sox history? Be careful, because it seems like a trick question.
Yes. He's Polish. We'll give you that clue. He's not smelling flowery right now.
Nope.
He was very brave last year.
Well, I was like, for the past 2 years, he's very brave.
AJ Pierzynski.
AJ Pierzynski!
All right. Well, that seems like a good place to end.
I was gonna say before we wrap
He's
it
a
up,
White Sox who
Jack, do you have anything
brought.
you want to ask us, or do you have any topics you want to bring up before we end the show this week?
Well, I'm just saying that AJ Pierzynski brings his kid on his road trips he did for his career.
And he still does. He was at pretty
I
much.
think that he wasn't on the White Sox when he did that.
Well, he did that with the Braves this year also. He had his kid at just about every home game, and I didn't see the Braves on the road this year, but I would assume that he brought him with them on the road as well.
And also, I would dare you, Jack, that if you disagree that AJ Pierzynski is the greatest White Sox catcher of all time, name another White Sox catcher that won a World Series for them. You probably can't, can you?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Sorry, Mrs. Abneering. We don't
condone smoking here.
Nope. It's a non-smoking show.
Unless you get the candy cigarettes. But make sure they don't have gelatin because those wouldn't be vegan.
No.
I think that we have candy cigarettes here.
Whoa.
Okay. Show off.
I'll mail you some gelatin ones, Tony. Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for the show. David, anything else?
I think that's it for this week. So remember, we'll come our next show. It might be Sunday. It might be Monday. Who knows? Just tune in. Look for our link. If you don't get to watch it live, you can always watch us at your leisure.
Yeah. If you can't watch us live, watch us dead.
Yeah. It might be even better that way.
Hey,
goodbye, Jack.
I can say that today was at least slightly better than last episode, and I think Jared would slightly agree. We didn't have any interruptions where power went down or anything. 2017 is way better.
I'd have to say that I think I did pretty good on the speech jammer.
Yeah.
Well, that worked against us. You're supposed to not do very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Good job.
Good job, Cole.
I'm an actor.
All right.
Bye,
So,
everyone.
Hall & Oates is going to play us out for our first show 2017. Watching you, private eyes. Not in a creepy way.